Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in giving a very, very warm YCAF welcome to Mr. Paul Williams.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. So I'm Paul Williams, and I'm a songwriter. And when Mr. Dollinger asked me, incidentally, he is like the, you know, I tried not to make fun of the fact that he was 7'4", because I'm only 5'9", but. No, I'm 5'2". You know, it's funny because he called and he asked me if I would come and do this master. And I've done this before. I've done it a few times in my life. And I'm reluctant to call it a master class on songwriting because the fact is, I don't know anything more about songwriting. Let me change this a little bit. I started out knowing no more about songwriting than everybody in this room. That every one of you in this room has the capacity to be creative to the extreme in whatever you want to do in your life. But he asked me, he said, would you do it? I said, oh, a master songwriting class? Well, of course I will do a master songwriting class. And I hung up the phone and I went, I don't know how to do a master songwriting class. What am I doing, for God's sakes, And the thing is that what I've found in my life from the very beginning is there's a little bit of moment of ego, like, yeah, I want to do that. And the desire to do it, and then there's that little slam of fear, So I realized, and I'm going to say this really slowly, something needs to change, and it's probably me. For me to be here tonight, I had to change something. I had to change that because when I'm stuck, if I'm sitting, I'm looking at fear about anything, and I'm frozen in that fear, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to go forward. I'm not going to be able to share what I know about the craft and the art of songwriting, the pleasure of doing this, music for a living, plus getting to meet you guys and hear what you guys are doing. I just heard y'all just did Hamlet. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. So one of the things that I like to talk about right away whenever I talk to somebody about the creative process is to trust yourself that within you right now you have stuff to be creative in whatever you choose to do in your life, whether you want to be a songwriter, an artist, whatever, that on some level every day you are creative when you stop to think about it. And if you're stopped by that fear, here's something else I want you to say to yourselves. I don't know how to do this, but something inside me does. That's songwriting 101 for me. I don't know how to do this, but something inside me does. Somebody calls me, the phone rings. Hello, Paul Williams, master songwriter here. What do you want? Write a song? Okay, I can do that. Oh my God, I've said I can do that. No. I'll give you a classic example. Get a phone call from the Muppets. Anybody here seen the Muppet movie? Well, not the one that was just out, the one that was made 208 years ago the original one. You've seen the original Muppet movie. So Jim Henson calls me and he says, we're going to write these songs about this specific place. The first thing I have is information to use. I've got the story. This is a story about how the Muppets got together. This script becomes my Bible. This is what I'm going, and this started with just sitting down with Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy and Gonzo and all these characters, the two guys that actually did those characters, Jim Henson and Frank Oz, and deciding what we were going to write about. It's all, the information was right there for me. And I sat down and I went, I don't know how to do this, but something inside me does. And I thought about the first song. But the Muppets driving along, trying to make it to Hollywood, moving right along in search of good times and good news. With good friends you can't lose. This could become a habit. Opportunity knocks once. Let's reach out and grab it. Together we'll nab it. We'll hitchhike, bus, or yellow cab it. Now, nobody says yellow cab and all like that. That is what we call clever lyric writing and all. I'm going to introduce you to 3 songwriters tonight who've come along with me. We'll talk a little bit about the creative process. I want to hear from you guys. Any songwriters in the room? Any composer, songwriter? Back there, I see a hand up. Anybody else? Anybody? I see songwriters right down here. What kind of music do you love? All kinds of music. Great answer. Including little old guys' music? Loving that. Loving that.